praise the name of the Lord this morning. You know, sometimes you may see me start off with such a big grin or a big smile on my face. And, you know, this can be attributed to the fact that it is very challenging to do your own home video. So much obstacles sometimes, you know. But bless God, this morning I'm up early having a cup of tea, and you know, I decided to post early today. It makes, you know, I think it warrants less background noises and so on, and that I just really wanted us to have a heart-to-heart talk this morning, because I posted a message yesterday entitled "Pursue, Go Up and You Shall Recover All," and again God did confirm that message again this morning through another servant of God. And to those of you who might think, well, okay, Marlene Carrington, who is Marlene Carrington? And, you know, probably just somebody who decide, at least for those of you who don't know me, who decide to just get up on Facebook and show herself and, you know, whatever. But it's not about that. For those of you who don't know me, maybe I should have introduced myself before. I am indeed an ordained minister of the gospel in the pastoral and evangelistic area. And God at times do minister, you know, words or messages that I'm sure would be beneficial to some of us, if not most of us. So I thank you for those of you who have taken the time to view these posts. As I said, it's very challenging when you are new to this arena, and you know, the Lord did inspire me to do such, you know, that we need to occupy as the word says till he come. And if I could, as the little song says, if I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. This morning again I said I want to have a one-to-one heart-to-heart talk with us, because truly, you know, God has been so gracious. God has indeed been so gracious to me. I don't know about you this morning, but if it had not been for the Lord who was on my side, I don't know where I'd be today. And I'm indeed so gracious to God for his goodness. In Psalm 116, you know, David, after, you know, taking a retrospect or a look again over his life and all his challenges and all his situations and circumstances, came to the conclusion that God had been so great and gracious to him. You know that in verse 15, rather in verse 12, he says, you know, what shall I render unto the Lord for all his benefits towards me? What shall I render? Have you ever taken the time to sit and to think about the goodness of God, truly his keeping power, his grace, and so many things that he have afforded us in this life? Have you ever truly sat and taken the time to just go over step by step, you know? They say count your blessings, name them one by one. But can we truly count the amount of blessings and, you know, that God has afforded us through our years? No. The answer is no this morning to that. But David said, what shall I render unto God for all his benefits towards me? What can we truly render unto God? You know, the wise men came bearing gold, or the kings, if we would say so, they came bearing gold, frankincense, and myrrh. But how much was that, you know, of use to God or to the Christ at that time? How much was it really of use, you know? And we could bring all sorts of gifts before God, and we will still not be able to recompense him for his grace and his love and his mercy towards us. And David came up to one conclusion. He said, hey, you know what? I know I will take the cup of salvation. I will take the cup of salvation because in the midst of everything, the ultimate sacrifice was Christ dying on the cross for us. And many of us today, we just turn our backs on Him. We don't take the time to dialogue with Him. We don't take the time to interact with Him. You know, we just turn our backs and we go our own ways, and we fail to recognize that if it had not been for the Lord, many of us would not be around at this time. But David in his wisdom said, I will take the cup of salvation, because truly salvation is a gift to us through Christ, God's Son. This morning, as I said, I want to talk to us on a heart-to-heart basis. Let's stop taking life for granted. Let's stop taking things for granted. Let's stop taking our health for granted and our day-to-day living for granted. And let us remember the ultimate sacrifice on the cross. And let us take the cup of salvation this morning. It's a free gift. It's given to us by Christ through his death on the cross. Let us take the gift of salvation this morning and utilize it and be thankful for God so loving us that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have eternal life. This morning, eternal life is only guaranteed through Christ this morning, the shedding of the blood, the remission of sins. So I encourage you this morning. I beseech you, those of you who listen, those of you who will take the time to listen, again I reiterate, this is not about me just sitting down and just babbling and talking off. This is about God's wisdom and inspiration for a time like this. May you be blessed this day. May you take up the cup of salvation, because gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and whatever we can give to God as an attribute this morning, I think will not be as beneficial to Him as knowing that we are indeed grateful for His ultimate sacrifice. Bless your hearts this morning again. Bless your hearts and take the cup of salvation. That is my plea this morning. I love you. Continue to have a tremendous day. See you again on Monday, the Lord willing. Bless you.